What up, guys? Welcome back. I'm recording this from my very hot flat in London. I don't know how hot it is where you are, but I'm absolutely sweating right now. But do you know what else is making me feel hot? The Quant price right now. So in this video, we'll go through what's been happening with Quant over the past few months. Before I begin, I see that 85.2% of you are not subscribed. You know what? This number has gone down from 85.6, I believe, in my last video. So all you new guys who've just joined, thank you very much. Welcome aboard. And yeah, all of you enjoy the rest of the video. Standard disclaimer. The content in this video is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice, and please do your own research and consult a professional before looking to make any investment. So in the first half of this video, let's go through some of the Quant news released on their website. And then in the second half, we'll look at some of the stuff in their wider ecosystem. So stuff like SIA, Nexi, and LACCHAIN. So let's begin. So they released this new use case a couple months ago on transforming the cross-border payments in Latin America. Of course, we know that Quant is working with LACCHAIN in Latin America, helping them build the Latin American dollar. You see here in this article, it's just given a bit of detail about the architecture. So for example, they're using Hyperledger BESU, and they're building a stablecoin that moves throughout the whole region. So Hyperledger BESU is a permissioned version of Ethereum. So it gives enterprise the ability to create permissioned networks and then also interact with the public permissionless Ethereum network. So what I believe is happening here is that these enterprises, they're building permissioned instances of Ethereum, and then they're using Quant to connect it all together. So, and it says here 1.6 million people have already benefited from this technology, which is amazing to hear. But why don't we see this on CoinMarketCap? Why isn't there a stablecoin? Why isn't there, what's going on? Well, part of the reason is that Hyperledger BESU is a permission network. So, it's not going to be on the public markets. But this is amazing. And then, they hint at the larger vision of Quant. This is what I was exactly saying in my last video, where LACCHAIN is basically a massive case study for America, Europe, Asia, and, they say it here again. So yeah, this is awesome. Cool. Let's go to the next update. Next update, they introduced the Tokenise beta. So this is just, it seems like it's making it easier for developers to use the platform. So just abstracting away complexity. So it gives you the ability to tokenize your assets into a QRC20 format. And then it's interoperable. And then it's also, you can deploy it onto the actual main nets of the different public blockchains that are connected. So, this is cool. This is great. It's just good progress to see. It's healthy progress. So moving on to the next update. You see here that they've connected to Hyperledger Fabric. So I'm assuming some node somewhere is on the gateway. Some Hyperledger Fabric node is on the gateway. Now, I don't know if you guys know what Hyperledger Fabric is, but it is the sort of the main product created by the Hyperledger Foundation. This product is used by a lot of enterprise, especially within supply chain. The big companies, IBM, Walmart, stuff like that. Basically, it's a permissioned blockchain network. So this is quite significant that they've connected up to it. Although it says here it's an AWS managed blockchain to host their Hyperledger Fabric nodes. So, in the future, we'd like to see this become real nodes off of AWS. So that would be something we'd want to watch out for. At the bottom here, it also says there's a new use case for customer loyalty programs. So customer loyalty is actually a very clear use case for blockchain. It's something that, for example, the loyalty schemes, right? Multiple companies are working together. So for example, like an airlines would be working with Starbucks, with various hotels. And what happens behind the scenes is that a lot of it is done by email, all the sort of reconciliation of hotels giving rewards based on the air miles is all done manually, right, at the moment. So blockchain is a very clear use case here where it kind of just puts everything onto one ledger, and it's just much easier. So for example, the benefit to the user would be instant rewards or instant air miles you can use, or like, you know, just it's just much faster, right? So that's cool. The next update here, we see they've done a webinar. I've not had time to watch it yet, but I will want to. It's a webinar between the Digital Pound, the Digital Euro Foundation, and then Accenture. So this is great to see, you know, they're kind of engaging in discussion for regulators and of course us, the community. You know, I see it as just laying the brickwork, you know, brick by brick for the Digital Pound and the Digital Euro Foundation. So, you know, this could be, you know, seen as them gearing up after LACCHAIN. So after LACCHAIN, this is them sort of just laying the path towards the Digital Pound and Digital Euro. So this is good to see. Moving on. And of course, in their latest update, they've made NFTs easier on their platform. A lot of people say this is why there's a recent rally in price. I mean, for me, I don't know. I find it a little hard to believe all of this is just from all this price action is just from a single article by NFTs. I mean, NFTs are really, I guess, they're not as hot as before. A lot of the volume's out of the market at the moment, but I don't know. You know, NFTs aren't really Quant's core unique selling point. You know, they deal with banks, enterprise, CBDCs. So I find the price action is due to actual utility. That's my thought behind it. But yeah, it's good to see they've added some NFT functionality to the product. You know, they're kind of, you know, looking at the market and kind of anticipating what will be needed, I guess. So this is good to see. And yeah, so that concludes all the updates from Quant themselves. Now let's jump into updates in the wider ecosystem. So SIA, Nexi, LACCHAIN, some CBD regulations, stuff like that. So jumping into SIA and Nexi, as you know, Quant partnered with SIA and then SIA was acquired by Nexi. Nexi is they're basically the SWIFT of Europe. They're the largest payment infrastructure provider in Europe. You know, going through their website here, you know, it's clearly they're using Quant. Some of the stuff, some of the text here, the copy, it sounds exactly like Quant. I mean, it's so obvious here. I mean, to me anyway. I mean, just listen to this. You could just imagine this is a Quant advert, right? The solution is multi-token, multi-purpose, and due to its flexibility, it can be adapted to facilitate integration between different systems to improve processes. I mean, you know, up here, look at this, up here, a common standard, a set of ready-made APIs, a code of blockchain protocols that allows designing common to all platforms. Yeah. So, I mean, we know that they're using Quant in some way, but, you know, that's not enough for me. I mean, I want to know how much they're actually using. So what I did was I tried to look at their financial statement for 2021. There's not much on it, to be honest. It's quite, I'm guessing there's NDAs around it, or I guess they don't want to put any mention of blockchain into their reports, right? Because there's some sort of, I guess, responsibility around mentioning these types of things in the big sort of company's annual report, right? So what do you call it? I think you call it fiduciary responsibility. So just looking through it, I think, just reading through it, interbank, anything interbank sort of little sign pops up in my head and it reminds me of Spunta DLT. So from this, it seems like we fit under the digital banking and corporate solutions bucket here. So just looking at it deeper here, ACH instant payments. Nexi provides the interbank management of money transfers. I mean, this sounds exactly like what they've done for Spunta DLT. Look at this. I mean, which guarantees interoperability and payment traceability thanks to a peripheral device. I wonder what that peripheral device is. Easy integration with bank systems. Okay. But anyway, looking further, it seems that only a small amount so far, only 10% of revenues actually come through this segment. So it's not a massive amount at the moment, but I'm also wondering out of this 10%, how much actually comes from Quant. But it's still not bad. I guess it's sort of indirectly mentioned in the report and on their website. So that's cool. And as we know before, SIA, now Nexi, was selected to, they actually won the tender to build the ESMIG, which is the European European Single Market Infrastructure Gateway, which is basically just this massive payment infrastructure project within the whole of Europe. I've tried to look for updates on this. It seems like it's progressing, but it's still really unclear how much of Quant is actually used. So I'll just leave it at that for the moment. So just looking at wider news in the Nexi group. So it seems like Nexi have chosen Microsoft to consolidate their data centers in Europe. And then it seems like Microsoft has also chosen Nexi as one of the main digital payment providers for e-commerce in Europe. So they're going to work to develop digital payment systems. It seems this article seems to be centered around the cloud data centers. Could it mean they're using those data centers for nodes? I don't know, who knows, but it's an interesting development, no doubt. Anytime Microsoft is involved, it's pretty big, and we know Nexi, Quant works with Nexi, so it's a step in the right direction for sure. And then let's move on to LACCHAIN news. So I've been tracking this little dashboard. I've tried to find out how many nodes per month and organizations per month join. So what this dashboard is showing is just, what nodes, so what servers and hardware, and then what organizations, so companies or, whatever organization is joining LACCHAIN. So what I found is that they average about 5 nodes per month and average about 3 organizations per month. So 3 organizations per month, that's pretty good growth. Just think about, 3 organizations per month. It could be anything from banks to new companies to new, just different sorts of companies. 3 of them being added per month who are joining the network per month. 3. That's quite good progress per month. The nodes don't really, I don't think the nodes are significant. 5 nodes per month. The nodes can mean anything really. One company can set up 5 nodes, even a normal average person can set up 5 nodes if they want, or 10 nodes if they want. So I think what's significant here is the 3 organizations per month. Just from my experience, 1 a month is amazing. So 3 a month is like, it's good. It's a very nice, it's a good speed. Just looking deeper at this map as well, there seems to be, there's a few interesting hubs of nodes. So it looks like Washington, DC is a big hub, which I've found is the IDB Labs HQ. IDB Labs is the company that's actually financing LACCHAIN. There's this big hub in Nebraska. I'm not sure why. The only thing I can find is that there's this Nebraska Financial Innovation Act. And then there's also in Oregon as well. I'm not sure why there's a big hub there, but I'm going to look at that deeper. And then Peru and Sao Paulo, those are big hubs as well. So yeah, we know that CBDCs and regulations in Latin America, for whatever reason, they are growing very fast, faster than other regions. If we take a deeper look here, we see that they're giving training to 36 professionals from South America, Latin America as well. It seems like they're teaching them the fundamentals of blockchain. And what's interesting here is that the 36 professionals who actually complete this course can actually begin to teach it once they go back to their countries. So yeah, it says here actually replicate it when they go back to their countries according to their interests to deepen the knowledge that exists. So this is quite interesting. I think that education is great about this. Majority of people, they're not like us. I don't know if you've noticed, but majority of people, they don't even know the basics. So this is good to see. So overall, LACCHAIN looks like it's progressing nicely, 3 organizations added per month. There's a bit more. I'm not going to cover it in this video, but I will cover it in the next one. So yeah, it's just a bit about Brazil, Peru, and then some of the recent stuff about IDB, which is quite interesting, but I'll leave that here for now. Let's move on to the regulations around stablecoins and CBDCs. So in the past couple months, there's been quite a lot of activity around regulations and CBDCs of obviously, the stablecoins as well with Terra Luna, and, there's quite a lot of stuff, activity happening within regulations now. I don't want to say, it's kind of a blessing in disguise in a way. the crash, the Terra Luna crash obviously was terrible for a lot of people, but it's kind of brought a lot of awareness, especially from regulators, about this space. So that's great. There's this report here about CBDCs and stablecoins in Latin America. They're discussing like, why is it so moving at such a fast rate there? I haven't taken a deep dive into this report, but it seems like the general consensus is that there's no infrastructure there. So because there's no infrastructure, using technology instead of actually, getting traditional technology, it's much faster and it's cheaper. So it's letting them leapfrog the actual technology stack they would have used, right, if they just used the traditional legacy sort of standard approach to it. So that's why they were saying it's, CBDCs and stablecoins are so popular there. So that's cool to see. It's good for LACCHAIN, of course. Also recently, there's this Euro Digital Payments Industry Alliance is doing their first conference on the future of digital payments industry in Europe. So this is good to see. It's just all these regulators coming together, CEOs of companies, they're all discussing how to approach it. So this is great to see, getting conversations started now is great. By the way, if you hear some weird sounds, apologize. I live in London. Privacy is a premium here, but yeah, just ignore that. Just looking at this article, really, it says here, Bo Nilsson joined the Nets group as CFO. He became CEO in 2014. He now sits as a board member in Nexi when the companies merged, and then he will continue working to drive reliable digital payments in Europe as president of EDPIA. So that's quite significant. I mean, the guy, the board member of Nexi, who's partnered with Quant, is the president of EDPIA, which is the kind of the body of European payment service providers. So that's quite significant, I think, don't you think? I mean, that's quite interesting. This tells me that, they're really going to make sure the regulations are sorted out for Europe. This is obviously good for Quant. And then moving on, we see here agreement reached on European crypto assets regulation, MiCA, markets in crypto assets proposal. So this seems like it's a direct reaction to what happened with Terra Luna. So what this proposal is saying is basically now all crypto asset service providers will have to provide a one-to-one backing with regards to stablecoins, and any holder can claim their stablecoin at any time. And then also it seems like here they're just making it clear who is responsible in the case of a loss of those investors' assets. So, this is good to see for, consumers. It's protecting consumers. We don't want new people who are joining our space to get afraid of losing all their money. So I think this is good to see. Overall, I think it's a good step in the right direction. Right now it's still the wild, wild west. We need more, I guess, not too much guide rails, but some guide rails just to make it safe for the mainstream to come and adopt our technology, right? And then much earlier, not much earlier, but on June this year, we see here the Lummis-Gillibrand Responsible Financial Innovation Act. I don't think this is passed, but this is just basically saying who has rights over digital assets. It says here the CFTC, and then it's just, I'm not going to go into too much detail here. It's just, what this is just basically trying to provide some framework of regulations around stablecoins. So I don't think this is passed, but it's a step in the right direction. Regulators now, they're beginning to think, how do you actually regulate this space? So, this is obviously good to see. So, summarizing all this up, this is, one of the things we need to look out for as quant investors is CBDC and stablecoin regulations, because it seems that majority of their use case is for those things, right? So we want to see that regulations is moving ahead nicely, things are getting cleared up, and then allowing more people to join the market. So overall, this is good to see. Overall, this update, I would say, nothing is to me, nothing is, I don't know, to me, nothing is super crazy significant. This is all like little stepping stones, steady as she goes. Progress everywhere, good progress everywhere. Microsoft, LACCHAIN is growing slowly. We see here the the board member of Nexi is on the president of the regulations for stablecoins in Europe. So, I mean, I guess that would be the most significant thing in this update. As regards to the recent price action, I don't think it's the NFTs article, to be honest with you. I think it's just actual utility of Quant going against the market. So yeah, so that's it for this update. I hope that was useful for you. If you enjoy what I do, hit the like and subscribe button. I'm gonna cool off now. It's still super hot in my room here. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. You guys are awesome, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.